All right, let's try this again. Kind of boomered it up a little bit last time. Give it a couple of minutes for people to join. For those that are tuning in now, today it looks like it's pretty darn close to official. Joe Biden is going to win the presidency, pending any of these legal challenges on Donald Trump's behalf that actually play out in his favor. I don't know. Maybe it could happen. I can see it. The Supreme Court's got a lot of Donald Trump's buddies on it, so it could go in his favor still. By and large, it looks like Joe Biden is going to take the presidency after all. And markets have gone up tremendously this week. Today was a little bit of a down day, so I'm sure that somebody must have gotten burned on one of their spreads ending up out of the money, or unfavorably at least. But hey, we are looking pretty strong across the board. I'm heavily invested into the Nasdaq myself, and tech saw a really strong week today. Strong week overall. I mean, look at that. We're not seeing gains like this of what 1,000 points since I don't think we've seen that since April, and I believe the headline back there just showed us that actually. We haven't seen gains like that since April, which was kind of the weirdest month on record. So lots of strength in the market right now. Handful of ways we can play this. And bearish people that are expecting a lot of increased volatility amid the election, you're counting on one more thing right now, and that's all of these legal challenges that Donald Trump's team is presenting, actually adding volatility back into the market. I think now that the election is by and large past us at this point, I think we're going to see stocks continue to rally. So I'm postured for that, and I've got a handful of positions that are going to benefit tremendously if stocks keep going up. We've got leaps on Triple Q, we've got leaps on SPY. I just got into weed stocks, which I think are going to do very well under a Biden administration. YOLO and THCX would be my choices. MJ is a third choice. I think that one's going to burn hot and fast. MJ is going to go up, but then it's going to end up running into some trouble because most of the stocks in that ETF are Canadian based. So they're not going to get a whole lot out of the US market unless they can start selling in the US. And I don't know if that's going to happen or not. It's really hard to say. But anyway, we've got a lot to look forward to, I think. Bearish traders, I advise you to switch up, do a little bit of change, recalculate where you think is going to happen over the next couple of months. And bullish traders, let's just keep rolling. Jake, thanks for the super chat. Do I believe in ghosts? That's actually a really good question. I've never seen one myself, but I love the stories. So I believe that the dead, I don't know. What do I believe in ghosts? I want to see one, honestly, but I want them to give me a heads up. Like, yo, I'm about to come in the room. Stay cool, be calm. I'm coming in right now, and then I can see them. But of course, they don't do that in the movies. They just kind of show up behind you, which is terrifying. We'll see. Now, let's see. There's a handful of other questions you got. I want to try to answer some of these right up front. A crash is coming. Jaron Silva posted 50% loss on the week. How? What were you doing? Were you long volatility? Because that would make sense. I think this result of stocks going flying was actually pretty unexpected. So I can forgive you if you were long volatility and that's why you lost. Other than that, man, it's time to switch up. Switch your game a little bit. I don't think bears are going to see their day for a little while unless Donald Trump presents strong legal cases and his campaign is able to fight back against this and lead to actually some uncertainty about the direction the market is going to end up going. Felipe Sanchez says, weed stocks, what's your OP? I don't know what you mean by OP, overpowered. I'm picking YOLO, don't YOLO into weed stocks, but choose the ETF YOLO. That's got good exposure. Weed stocks are lit right now. Yep, I agree with you. And personally, I can't wait. I'm excited because I'm sick of freaking hangovers. I'm just trying to get high instead. Now, anyway, let's check out what's actually going on over here. Let's see. Let me move you guys over a little bit so I can still see what you're saying. All right, but let's see what we got. So S&P 500 posts best week since April as Wall Street eyes election results. I think that, like I was saying before, I don't think that this result was expected. I think that we anticipated massive volatility and stocks going down if Joe Biden won because it presents uncertainty to the market. So I think that this is actually pretty unexpected, and I can forgive anybody who was anticipating volatility instead. Let's see what Yahoo Live is reporting. Uh-oh, we got a girl. There we go. Here's our volume.
So we want to bring in Robert Mueller. He's an enterprise hardware analyst at
Robert
RBC.
Mueller.
And Robert,
That's an interesting name.
sales, they were a weak spot in Apple's.
How's the audio? Is the audio good?
Last week, there was some talk that consumers were waiting for this 5G cycle to upgrade their phones. How big of a success do you think the iPhone 12
5G, another big one going on here. I'm long Nokia and Apple.
Overall, we're quite positive on this 5G cycle. You know, we're definitely in that super cycle camp, and not just this first year. You know, we think that over the coming
Let me know
years,
if the
it's
sound
gonna be
is
a long,
good, if
sustained
the audio is
upgrade
good for you
cycle.
guys.
If you look at last quarter, it was a little bit of a dead quarter for them when you have, you know, no new releases. It's a little bit, you know, harder comp because you typically have a
Yeah,
September
5G,
upgrade,
FIVG
the
is
last week or
the
so.
best, in my
So,
opinion,
I don't
best
think I would look at so much
ETF
as
for the
disappointment.
5G rollout.
We've always
You can get
seen
another
this
couple of
trend
those with the
with
ARC
you know,
ETFs. I think
society.
5G is real good.
So, you know, with
The
this
ARC
upcoming
ETFs are a
lineup,
good
it makes
alternative
like a pretty
choice.
solid, you know, quarter coming up. It might be a little bit messy because, as we know, there's a staggered release. You know, previously before the iPhone 10, there was a staggered release, and it didn't.
This is new information.
Record quarter for iPhone revenue. So we're still pretty positive. You know, it might be a little bit noisy because the supply.
Did you guys know that the iPhones are going to be released on a staggered basis? They're not all going to be released at the same time.
We're not too
I didn't know
concerned
that.
about the ultimate level.
And you talk about what 29% of iPhone users are
Uh-oh.
considering 5G, or as our CEO says, 5G. But I got to ask you, on Monday, we get this, you know, potential new iMac, and I'm one of those.
Is it frozen for you guys?
I kid you not. I ordered a new iMac after 8.5 years, and then they announced this thing, and now I'm thinking cancel the order because I may not get the old version with the Intel chip. It wouldn't come till December. Should I wait for the
Yeah,
new
Sam,
iMac?
iPhones should be out any day now.
How long with the Apple
I don't
chip?
actually know the date. I'm probably not going to get it quite yet. It's frozen here. What happened over here?
I don't think so. I think that you're going to have just a regular upgrade cycle. I think most people probably aren't going to be able to tell the difference between, you know, the
Yeah, we're
Apple
frozen.
chip or the Intel chip. Yes, sir. There could be improved performance, but that would be really any annual upgrade would have better performance.
All right, let me fix this
maybe a
here.
tighter ecosystem.
I don't know what happened for you
App
guys. Just
development
it froze.
you know, on the
I'm gonna
Mac,
add 'em back.
having
We're gonna get 'em back.
Architecture between the Mac and the phone, and the iPad, but I think for most people, you're not going to really notice it. Maybe, you know, there's a little bit of a slowdown. People might change their orders, maybe upgrade or wait for discounts.
All right,
but
we're back.
you know, all in all, I think that, you know, the most important thing is having people who upgrade, have people that stay in the ecosystem.
What's going on here? I'm boomering.
And to continue to buy not just this current year, but you know, 4 or 5 years from now when you're looking to upgrade to a new computer.
Okay.
Robert, what about this quarter?
Tell me
Because
we're back,
I'm looking
guys.
for
Is it still frozen?
for it. We know the holiday season.
I don't know what the
is
hell's
so
going on
important
here.
For Apple, what do you think it's going to look like for them?
I don't think it's my computer. I think it's
The hard thing is because
I think it's
of the supply
OBS.
chain considerations, which I've already touched on. There is this staggered release.
I think I know how to fix it now. It's not the computer. It's-
people are waiting. So it's hard because, you know, like, yes, the guys.
It's mostly because I
but
suck at
this is
using
not a huge
live streams. I'm
amount
really not that good at
of
this yet.
guidance, you know, basically all of this year, you know, pandemic-related concerns, and it does make sense if you worry about your supply chain or the initial demand. You know, there's not additional stimulus
All
as
right.
of yet. You know, that
We're
could
live.
really
I figured
change
it out.
everyone's,
I can't pause the video or it doesn't
sort
unpause.
of a lame duck
That's the
stimulus
problem
package
here.
that was passed, or even early into the next year. So we think that over time it's really just going to even out.
Hey
and
Bears,
the quarter could be
I want to
nice,
hear
but
from
there
you
are
guys
things
right now. Enter it into the
from
chat.
the
What's
supply
your
chain
what's your
perspective
plan
that,
at this
just sort
point?
of sales and
Do you expect that
just
volatility is
really
going to
just
pick up?
enjoying
Stocks are
the
going to start
most
coming back
important
down
is that this
as we get toward the
all based around
inauguration?
people upgrading this
Or are you
year,
switching
people
up? Is it time to
upgrading
take on
2,
some
3, 4
long?
years going forward,
Oh,
and
you
just
guys got
staying
no
within
sound
the
here?
ecosystem.
Apple is not Samsung. I'm thinking of the launch of the Samsung foldable phone that flopped. Is there a concern that Apple could possibly have a hiccup like that with the launch of these new iPhone 12?
So there hasn't been
They're talking
a
about,
major form factor change.
you know,
really.
5G obviously right now,
Yes, the size
and how that
of
rollout
the
is going to help a
upgrade,
bunch of different
but for the
companies.
most part, it's
The way I'm
same
playing
format,
this
so
is
customers
taking on
are,
positions.
you know,
One, in the hardware sector
appreciate
like this. I got
our survey
460
considered,
apples and I got
suggests
4
about
leaps
90%
on
of
Apple.
customers
I had
are
115
definitely
shares
very
before the
likely
split.
to stay in the ecosystem.
And
So,
then
you know, the thought of
I've got
customers
100
that
shares
actually
of
own phones is really
LRCX, which is
not
probably
out
the
there.
most
There's,
bullish
you know,
position.
multiple different
I could
phones
not be
available
more
right now.
bullish
It's
on a
really
stock than I
all
am
for
on
everyone's
Lamb
preference.
Research right now. It's
You know,
LRCX.
small or
They're the
large,
ones that
or
produce
less
the
expensive,
items
more
that
expensive.
other
So I think that
companies
there's a place
need
for
in
most
order to
people
produce
now.
chips. So you're talking about several steps
You
behind the
talk
consumer.
about being
This
stuck on
company in the
autopilot.
background
I
is
do
building
like
the
my iPhone,
building the
but I'm
machines that
terrified
everyone
if I
else
ever
needs to
switch
build
my
their
phone,
hardware.
everything's
So you're in a very, very good position to sell to a very wide audience. It's difficult to crack into that industry. So I'm very bullish on LRCX. I've got a handful of Nokias, banking on Huawei getting boxed out of North America and Europe. Nokia and Ericsson, I think, are going to pick up a lot of those contracts, and they are. I just haven't seen Nokia make much of a positive move yet. But I'm hoping to get there. And then KJ9 asks about semiconductors. So I've also got the ETF SMH, like shaking my head. ETF SMH is the whole semiconductor industry. So I've got, what do I got, 100 shares of them, and I've got a short put on them. And I hope I get assigned. So I'm very, very positive, very, very confident in the whole semiconductor industry right now. I don't think there's anything else I have that's, oh, and then just QQQ, you know, is going to hold a lot of that. There's a lot of companies that are going to benefit from a 5-year rollout. So I would 100% throw some cash into SMH, Triple Q. If you have no confidence in particular companies, do those. And then, of course, there's always Apple, too.
Apple has an event coming up next week. What are you expecting to hear?
You know, my expectations are really going to be around the Mac, the new silicon-based.
Pins, man, I wonder how's Pins going to do. AMD, yeah, I've got 100 AMD.
Sort of additional headphone products.
I'm a little bit skeptical about their purchase of Xilinx because they had to give away 28% of their company. So, I mean, what does that mean for the investor? Is the acquisition of Xilinx going to make up for losing 28% of your company? It's possible.
I think really just get the time to get this new.
Yeah, you guys are talking about cryptocurrencies right now. You know you can sell covered calls on Bitcoin. Right? You can sell covered calls on 1/100th of a Bitcoin. So if you have 1 Bitcoin, you can sell 100 covered calls. I mean, I'm doing that now. I'm wheeling like 25–30% out of the money. And I'm still pulling monthly, like, I don't know, 1% a month for wheeling 25% out of the money. You can go on to Ledger X, and I'm not talking about the hardware. Where is it at? I got a Ledger X Nano. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the website, Ledger X. Where'd it go? I've got a Ledger X in here somewhere. Probably got like $30 worth of shitcoins on it. But you can get an account on Ledger X, and you can actually sell covered calls on Bitcoin. And if you've got, you know, if you've got 10 Bitcoins because you got in early, sell covered calls on one of those things. Sell them 30% out of the money. All right. If it does get hit and you get assigned to sell your Bitcoin 30% higher than it is today, that's cool. You just made 30%. Plus, you still get to keep all the money that you made selling covered calls. So, is this the stream where we sell puts? Yeah, I do that. Yeah, check out, if you guys have Bitcoin and you want to make some extra cash on top of it, sell covered calls or wheel or whatever, or just buy long options. Do it on Ledger X. AJ said something interesting here. He said, all right, Eric Stone, how do you feel about the housing market? Not to focus on a meme stock, but RKT did kill earnings last time, and estimates for the week are still lower than what they did last time. I don't know much about RKT specifically, but I think the housing market is going to stay strong, and I think that with Joe Biden's presidency, it's actually going to get stronger. And I say that because part of his tax plan is to give $15,000 of tax credit to first-time home buyers, like me. So you're going to get $15,000 off the top of your home price. That could be 5%, 5, even 10% sometimes, depending on where you live, of the cost is going to be returned to you in credits, in tax credits, that you can then reinvest into your house, improve it, update the kitchen, bathroom, whatever. I think we're actually going to see more demand for housing. So I would be long the housing market right now. You know, a couple of months ago, when coronavirus was just destroying everything, I was hoping for a housing crash so I could buy a house. Maybe 2 houses. We'll see, you know, become a landlord. Now, I'm just hoping to be able to get a house before the market starts going way flying high. A handful of people said stuff here, but I missed it. Jack Alpha can't understand a thing I'm saying, but he's in. All right. All right, let's see what we got here.
Week is done, and we had some nice gains in the indices.
Best week since April.
6.9%. The Russell, the S&P 500 was up 7%, and the Nasdaq taking the cake here, up just over 9%. Let's take a look at the biggest Dow winners here. We have United Health up 14%, followed by Salesforce and Honeywell. Microsoft all up more than 10%. Only Microsoft was the laggard here, but it was still up over 1%. Looking at the
Wow,
NASDAQ,
UNH up 13.9%.
We got Facebook up
Tesla up 10% this week. Nvidia up 16%.
Up 16%.
God, that's crazy.
Well,
Yeah, there's my Lamb Research down the bottom, up 20% this week.
Idea of
Man.
today, and that is Starbucks.
I wish I had more.
This is by way of Argus Research. This is a fundamental report, and they are looking at, or they have a bullish view on Starbucks, and this is as it just reported earnings last week, and they're saying about it, we think that specialty coffee retailers will be particularly hurt by the coronavirus pandemic, and that some smaller coffee retailers will have to close.
Yeah, you guys are asking right now about,
with its strong band,
let me see,
strong brand,
about Kamala Harris's transaction tax. So that hasn't been something that I've seen reemerge. Nobody's talked about that transaction tax since like July. And I think if she were the candidate, if she were the president, you might see a push for that. I don't think Joe Biden is going to support a transaction tax. We're talking about a 0.2% commission, basically. So $2 on every 1,000, which doesn't sound like a lot when you're talking about a $3,000 stock trade. It's going to only pay $6 worth of tax. But if you're talking about a $100,000 stock trade, and then you're talking about $200, that's a pretty darn big commission. And for those of us that are, trading at those levels, that's a lot of tax. That's a lot of tax. But I haven't seen anybody push for that. It hasn't been part of Joe Biden's campaign. I do see evidence of that in the summer. Kamala Harris was talking about it before Joe Biden actually was nominated. I think that's going to come away. I would be absolutely devastated if they implemented a tax like that, because you're talking about killing liquidity, and it's preventing the middle class from rising. Like, I'm trying to get money. I don't need to just be doing buy and hold and that's it. So I only have to pay transaction tax occasionally. We're traders. Young people these days, we're not just going to buy and hold SPY so that we can die rich. We're going to trade stocks, and we're going to make money on it. So I'd be very, very upset if I end up paying hundreds, thousands of dollars, really, in additional taxes just for trading. I think that's ridiculous. It's preventing the middle class from rising. They're looking at, oh, it's only going to punish the algo traders or the bajillionaires. I don't agree. I think it's going to hurt us. And I really, really, really don't want to see that happen. Luckily, I haven't seen the Democrats push for that since Kamala Harris lost the primary. And part of the reason for her losing the primary might be the fact that she wanted to increase taxes.
You can tell because it has the disk drive. There's a digital-only model for $399.
Yeah, I'm supposed to be trading Neo pretty soon for the next episode of 3K. I haven't done that yet. I'm kind of regretting not getting on board earlier because I'm not ready to make a video, so I've been planning on actually making a 3K. I feel like I kind of missed the bump on Neo. Maybe not, though. It could just keep rising. There's really no evidence to suggest otherwise.
Pushback from the button as if you're hitting down on a pedal in the car. It's really, really incredible stuff here. This is going to be available November 12th, but I can't talk about.
So Klaus Evertsky says, I don't think they'd raise taxes all over the place anytime soon. They need to figure out how to play COVID. We're still in a pandemic. Makes no sense to raise taxes. Yeah, I agree with that, Klaus. In fact, I've been looking at, I'm about to make a video actually pretty soon about what we should anticipate from taxation, from Joe Biden's tax plan. A lot of it is going to help the middle class. The people with kids especially, they're going to see a lot more money. People that are, I don't want to say poor, but people that are poor are going to see a lot more reason to invest into traditional IRAs and Roths. I'm sorry, not Roths. Invest in traditional IRAs and 401ks instead of investing in Roths. I think that's actually going to help them out. They might even get money back. It's pretty good.
I just don't envy parents who have to buy this.
But then, is it a game changer? I mean, I'm kind of a fish out of water here because
what are we looking at? Are we still going to see?
Maybe I was 7.
We're going to see GameStop take another boost here.
Probably a handful of times, but it's
she's breaking up.
Device is in what the gamers out there, people like you that were so excited for this, is it living up to the hype?
I think it is. I think as far as the issues with older
KJ9, he's only raising taxes for people that make either $1 million a year, or they're going to lose long-term capital gains tax, and people that make over $400,000 a year are going to go to 39.6% tax, income tax, which is what they've been paying for the last 10 years under between Obama and Bush, and then Trump changed that a little bit. But that's their goal. Remember, the election hasn't even been called yet, first of all. And the Democrats are going to have a really, really hard time pushing any kind of sweeping tax reform when Mitch McConnell is still locked down the Senate. Looks like Republicans are going to stay in control, and they're not going to want to raise taxes on anybody. Except the poor. They might let those tax benefits expire.
Series S for $299, and that really will look attractive for, I think, holiday shoppers this year, whereas PlayStation's cheaper model is $399. So there's a big issue when it comes to pricing for consoles. $499 is the limit. Anything past that is never done
Hey,
well. So
Ethan, you're asking about, outside of the sponsorship, would I still be recommending taking the leap from Webull from Robinhood to Webull? Right now, I mean, that depends. If you don't do spreads, then yeah, just go ahead and shift over to Webull. It's better if you don't need spreads. But I can't recommend everybody do that because there's a lot of traders like myself who need spreads in order to be successful when they trade. And you can't trade spreads on Webull yet. I would make the account now just because they're giving free shares. Take that level 2 stuff, get used to it, get used to the platform, but don't move all your money over to Webull unless you don't need spreads. If you don't care about spreads, then go ahead and do it. But for most traders, you're going to want to be able to trade spreads. And don't move over to Webull until they offer spreads. Like, let's hold Webull accountable here. They've been talking about implementing spreads for months. They haven't done it. I think last October, I was asking them when they're going to have spreads, and they keep saying soon, soon, soon. So let's go ahead, hold them accountable, make them implement spreads before we move our money over there. It's time for them to do it. So that's what I have to say.
The big changes that they saw were in some of the major cities. For instance, Washington, D.C. saw 133% jump.
And Transcendental says, how do I feel about Tastyworks? Tastyworks is probably the premier brokerage. So I'd go to them.
55%, LA 34%. And I got to point out the statistics.
Yeah, and Johnny Jims brings up fractional shares on Robinhood. Yeah, it is kind of cool too.
So areas that were heavily Republican, they only saw a 33% jump in liquor sales, whereas
and Thinkorswim is a good alternative. I think Thinkorswim has a very old interface. I've never actually used it, but that's pretty much everybody's complaint.
Very interesting statistic, and as you point out, Adam, those drinking the most, a 69% increase. 55% increase for people in the millennial age group. So,
what do you guys think about this? Are you drinking more lately or drinking less?
Election night, I'm surprised that they're sober at this point, though.
Dan, what about the swing states? Because I think you can make the argument that maybe they've been under the most amount of stress here. They're trying to watch what their state is going, if they're going to be for Biden or be for President Trump. And also, is there any difference just in terms of what people are working?
No, those asking based on the title, no, I wasn't bearish this week, but I know a lot of people were because they anticipated volatility. I anticipated volatility, but kept all my long positions with the expectation that I would buy more bullish positions if stocks went down this week. Of course, that didn't happen, so I've got more cash than I want to hold, but I did benefit heavily from stocks going up.
And as far as what people were drinking, beer sales were up 13.9%, liquor sales were up 38%, and wine
Hey,
sales.
Charles, I don't have too much on the oil market right now. I think it's got to come back up soon. It has to. I don't know when that's going to be. As far as airlines, I'm picking up bullish positions right now on jets. I'm trying to get to 100 shares, paid for with a premium from wheeling other stocks. So we're getting there slowly but surely. I'm picking up jets right now. I think that's a good pick overall.
Saying legal weed, recreational stuff. For the next election cycle, there may be a business opportunity for someone who wants to take the Drizzly model and turn it into maybe this Spicoli model. We'll talk about that another time. Dan Halley, thank you very much.
I wonder if sales of alcohol soared across the U.S. on election night because everybody wanted to play drinking games.
Chip Moonshine, CEO, on why his company's hard kombucha has buyers buzzing online. Back up this.
It's Macy's Friends and Family. Get an extra 30%.
I'll turn it down. All right, let's do some chat during these commercials. All right, thanks, Charles. I appreciate it. A leaps or shares for cruise lines. Johnny Jims, I don't know when those cruise lines are coming back, so I'm shares. I don't even want leaps right now. And the volatility is so high on those. I'm picking up shares while they're dirt cheap. These companies probably aren't going to go bankrupt. I hope. But that's where I'm going right now. I'm trying to buy shares of the cruise lines with the premium that I'm making by wheeling cruise lines. And for the rest, I recommend YOLO for sure. The thing I like about YOLO with the weed companies is they've got companies in that ETF that are actually already making money. They're profitable. and they have heavy exposure to the US market. The companies like Kronos, Aurora, Afria are Canadian, and they don't have that much going on in the US. Meanwhile, you've got companies like IIPR, which I think is like Innovative something or other. They have the greenhouses that other companies use to make weed, to grow weed. You've got US distributors. You guys see my dog? Yeah, that's Big Snoof right there. Okay. All right. She might hang out with us later. I forgot what I was going on with. Yeah, weed stocks have been a letdown in the past, but I think this is our best opportunity. This is the weed industry's best opportunity to really see some gains here. Yeah, I don't know. Trevor, you bring up a good point about Neo. Like, after the Luckin Coffee thing, how many guys in here got burned by Luckin Coffee? I almost wheeled Luckin Coffee. I swear to God, I was very, very close to wheeling Luckin Coffee, but I just didn't hit the button, like the submit button. If I had bought that, my 3K challenge would be completely wiped out, because that company ended up being mostly, like, almost all fraudulent, all of its earnings. It totally would have screwed me. So I'm hesitant to get in on Neo now, because it did something. Like, are they up to no good too? Like, is there something about the Chinese market that makes them susceptible to shenanigans? So I'm skeptical about Neo, but so far they seem to be pretty solid. Charles, I like how your cruise line question got filtered out because it has the ticker CUK, which is I think that's Carnival. I think that's Carnival Cruise Lines. I think it doesn't matter which cruise line you buy right now; they're all going to move up together. So I'm doing Norwegian just because it's the cheapest, and I actually like Norwegian Cruise Lines the best out of the cruises I've been on personally. So that's why I'm messing with Norwegian. I can feel good about holding it. Yeah, I don't know what the profitability of Neo actually is. It looks like it's rather. Oh, what do you got? Anybody playing with June Shine? They probably don't have a public stock. Organic, probiotic, gluten-free, hard kombucha. I bet you that's going to go very well in LA. Up there it is, Hollywood. That seems like that to me screams like trendy hipster drink right there. $7.50. You can get yourself a gluten-free, hard kombucha grown from organic dirt and a surfboard.
It's been like one day something is a major win, and the next day you take a major blow.
I mean, I keep dropping the information about Neo in those chats. I really want to see what you guys have to say, because I'm supposed to be trading Neo for the 3K challenge. I just haven't started that trade yet, because I want to make dank trades next. Well, first I'm actually going to make a Biden tax plan analysis, and then I'm going to make dank trades while I'm writing the script. But I will have to make the 3K challenge at some point. I'm going to have to trade Neo. I don't know how high is this thing going to go. It's a little bit scary.
The first thing that happens in January is everyone joins the gym, right? Or in normal times anyways. And so I think that there is actually a health movement, and that's more sincere probably than it was pre-COVID, which is great and bodes well to healthier alcohol options.
Sports gambling will end up like weed stocks if there isn't national legislation in a reasonable time frame. Are those gambling stocks like Donkey Kong and Penn National, are those facing regulatory scrutiny right now? I didn't know that they were. Hey, fill me in on that if that's the case.
Gotta be humble. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I agree with a lot of you guys right now on Neo. It's something just doesn't seem right, but I got to investigate it further before I'm willing to lock that analysis in. I'm just skeptical about Chinese companies after Luckin Coffee. I'm not gonna lie to you. I mean, that's really the most deciding factor right now. And then we saw Nikola, I'm not even sure how to say it. Nikola was an American company that was trying to compete with Tesla, and they ended up being a bunch of BS too. So are we going to see electric car companies that are really entering the market and being serious? Or are we just going to see a bunch of sham companies keep popping up? I'm not sure what's going on with Neo, and I got to find out more about it. But my first impression is something here is amiss. And even if that thing is just the fact that it's up to, what is it, multiplied itself like 20 times over, like 4,000% gain this year, just something doesn't fit right for me. So I'm skeptical, although I still wish I bought Leaps at $2. Yeah, those of you that are saying just buy Tesla, yeah, that's probably the right idea.
some TV networks and platforms.
And matter of fact, I live in DC, so I'm seeing Teslas all over the place, all over, and they're just they're saturating all of those free parking spots, because if you drive an electric car, you can get free parking sometimes. So the first floor always covered in electric cars, and I'd say 8 out of 10 are Teslas. The other ones are Leafs, Nissan Leafs, or Leaves, Nissan Leaves. And Tesla, yeah, of course, I'm going to stay bullish on Tesla. I bought 20 shares before the split, had 100 after the split, ended up wheeling it, got boxed out, moved the money into ETFs instead. But I'm probably going to re-enter Tesla. I think the price is kind of right where I want to see it. Another freaking commercial break? I mean, not that I'm really paying attention to these guys anyway. Yeah, you know what? What does that say about us, the fact that we're all talking trash about NEO right now? This is supposed to be a bear market support group. Or not bear market, bear trader support group. Because I'm willing to bet we're going to see a lot of loss porn pretty soon on Wall Street bets. Right now, WSB is just full of shit posts right now, which is entertaining, but I want to see, where's the people that made money this week? Where's the people that lost money? I kind of need that. That's why I go there. NEO leases their factory, they aren't a Tesla, and I'm not a Tesla bull. Alright, so Adam M is apparently bearish on NEO, which is tough to be right now, because right now NEO has just been killing it. I mean, they came off a little bit today, but this week has just been going crazy. Yeah, what do you guys think of Workhorse? House Hunter 22 is asking about it. Workhorse. I know that they were on the roster of companies that could win some kind of important government contract, but I haven't dug into it. I'm skeptical about pretty much any electric car company except for Tesla. They're the only ones that have demonstrated the ability to work through a challenging market and to deliver every single time. Literally deliver cars, but also deliver quality cars that people actually want. You ask people what kind of car they want, they're saying Teslas. And Tesla the GOAT. Alright, let's see what we got here. They're actually talking about stocks now.
All of 4 points. This was the best week since April at 7 months for the Dow, the Nasdaq, and the S&P 500. Let's bring in Rick Newman for this week's.
I like how they're using the daily numbers to represent the best week ever, and today was not a good day.
I think that's exactly the point, Adam. So since 2017, we've been this week in Trumponomics.
Yeah, I still got QQQ leaps, and I got Apple leaps as well.
Desktop Trumpometer that had a dial that went back and forth, and then we had.
What's going on here? These guys are struggling with their connection.
So what's the story this week? And I think, frankly, it's that this is the end of Trumponomics. The news organizations, as we're speaking, have not yet called this race, but they're going to. It seems there's almost no way President Trump can win. So what does that mean?
Yeah, what a comeback for Blue Team.
I think going to soon be
I was watching the election at like 2 o'clock in the morning on election day,
faces a very tough economy,
and we're like, yeah, it's not looking good for Joe Biden. Twitter was very upset. All the people with blue hair were really pissed.
If Republicans do control the
but then, as the mail-in ballots start getting counted,
he's going to have a hard time passing legislation.
Everything swung blue.
He's going to inherit an economy that's still in a huge hole. I mean, we got 600,000 something new jobs today, but we're still down about 10 million new jobs, and the pace of job creation is slowing. So Biden faces a real uphill climb. So to cut to the chase, the Trumpometer this week reads failing. That is the second lowest score.
Who made that? Like,
and that's mainly
who made that wheel thing right there? Jeez. Yahoo Finance is evaluating this. Huge, barely mediocre week, failing, sad. That's exactly the terms that Donald Trump would use too.
Next couple of days, because I think maybe the expectation this morning when we were talking, we thought that the race would be called at this point. We still don't really have any clarity just in terms of time. I mean, so I'm curious.
How is Nevada not done counting yet? I mean, I know they're 50th in education,
who knows what
but
that might be,
they should be able to count. Like, it's just not that complicated.
Validity to Trump's claims of voter fraud. It doesn't seem like any of the lawsuits are going to change anything. They seem to be getting.
Eden, you asked me a question. Why are we not talking about Corona? I think the answer to that is because there's an election going on. But as soon as this election's over, we're going to start talking about coronavirus again. We had 122,000 positive cases tested yesterday. That is absurd. That is an absurdly high number of positive cases. And nobody's talking about it because we're all kind of just used to coronavirus by now. QYLD, House of Hunter, I don't know nothing about QYLD. What is that? Let me know.
So all these worst case scenario things that would produce a contested election, they're not happening. And it doesn't matter if President Trump concedes
Marcellus
the election or
Amlang
not.
put all of his money into FD puts yesterday and ended up with a doubling. Dude, that's amazing. Count your blessings. Don't do that again. Just be happy that you doubled this time.
So for all the drama that Trump is creating and the lies he's telling about voter fraud, we could end up with a fairly typical transition to the next presidency. It looks like, the Republican Party is not going to back up Trump. So I think, Trump's support is starting to crumble. There's reporting from inside the White House that, Trump aides are just trying to figure out how to convince him or how to break the news to him that he lost. Trump will have no choice at some point but to accept
renewable energy stocks, Leo, long renewable energy stocks for sure. Even if it were Donald Trump as president, still long renewable energy stocks.
A transition team together and the next administration. So this might start.
If this thing shakes out the way we expect it to, and Biden does become the president, what we owe ourselves is a thorough look at how his policies are going to affect our finances personally. Don't believe the hype that you're seeing on Facebook. We got a lot of $35,000 a year forklift drivers who thinks Joe Biden is going to bankrupt them by taking 60% of his money. It's not the case. So let's do a real thorough analysis of what's going to affect us, and then take advantage of it where we can. Like, for example, they plan to increase the child tax credit from about $2,000 to $3,600 for infants. So I'm going to be seeing personally quite a gain from that. That's already $1,600 a year in savings. And they're also going to increase the amount of money that you can take a tax credit for if you're paying other people to take care of your old relatives or your children. So we're looking at 50% of whatever you pay of whatever you pay for child care or old people care, you can get that back in tax credit. So it's like a 50% cost reduction in whatever you're paying for that type of service. That's huge for people that have old relatives. Corey Everett had $2,000 in SPXS, that's the 3 times leveraged bearish ETF calls. So when did you buy those, Corey? Because if you bought them today, you might be okay. If you bought them any other day, you're screwed.
And he's, blessing this candidate and writing off this candidate.
Yeah, I think that won't hurt us. Yeah, random guy. I think oil is going to have its day. It's not going away anytime soon. We got like 50 years left before we switch to, like, the people that are entering the business of oil now, they might retire around the time oil is going obsolete. So we're good. It's not going to crash anytime soon. Hey, thank you, Nico. I really appreciate that.
About the polls and what the polls
Thanks
are
so
telling
much.
us. And once again, similar to what we saw in 2016, the polls didn't really get it right. Why do you think that this once again?
Yeah, September 15th or so, some data for January, some for November. So Corey, if you've got 1 year leaps on SPXS calls, I'm still skeptical because I think we've got a lot of bullish market activity ahead of us, but it could be worth it as a hedge. Who's bag holding ACB? No, man, you should not be worried about bag holding ACB. You should be buying more ACB right now. EVG moves what renewable energy stocks and ETFs I recommend. What's the one? I think it's called like Sun Energy, something like that. I don't own it personally. Let me see if I can find it real quick.
Demographically, the Trump base, which is
Reggie, is that it? No, I don't think that's an ETF.
Slowly, but they are declining as a portion of the electorate. So the presumption was that there would be naturally a smaller.
I don't know. God, I don't have one for you, man. But they're probably all pretty much the same. I think there's one that started like Sun or something like that. Maybe it's SPWR. I don't know, but it was an ETF though. It wasn't a particular company.
To turn out and vote for him. If that turns out to be
I can't remember. I'm sorry. I don't have an answer for you there. But there are ETFs that they're all pretty much the same daggone thing, man. The ETFs that hold a bunch of different renewable energy companies. So I'm all about those. I might even take a position on that at some point. Amir asked, isn't there too much hype about Cannabis stocks? Like, isn't it priced in already? I don't even think it's close to priced in the amount of upside these Cannabis stocks can have. The Canadian-based ones, yes. I don't think Aurora specifically is going to start killing it all of a sudden. I don't think Kronos Group or Canopy are going to start killing it. I do think that we're going to see the companies, the cannabis companies with exposure heavily to the US, those ones are going to do really well. And you can find them. They're the holdings that are in the marijuana ETFs, YOLO, and THCX, and MSOS, I think, is another alternative to it. But I'm choosing YOLO as mine. Again, I'm not YOLOing into cannabis stocks. I'm buying the ETF YOLO. That's the ticker. Somebody made 5Gs wheeling? Who said that? Justin, the other guy, said, you're the man, bro. I made like $5,000 doing the wheel in just 3 or 4 months. Made money with other holdings, but the wheel was definitely because of you. Hey, congratulations, man. That's huge. $5,000 in 3 or 4 months wheeling is actually kind of a lot, especially depending on what you started with. Keep doing what you're doing, man. We're all going to make it. Do I think Biden will win? Yeah, I think it's pretty much a lock at this point. And Raptor says MO. Yeah, that's Altria. I own 100 shares of Altria right now. I'm telling you, the companies that are producing cigarettes right now, all they got to do is switch from tobacco to cannabis, weed, putting those into their machines, and all of a sudden you've got a cigarette company that's now mass marketing. I don't know, what do they call them? Are they going to call them marijuana cigs? Or are they going to call them, like, I don't know. They're not going to call them blunts, but they're going to call them something. And they're going to be able to mass market and distribute those. And Altria already owns, I think, like 30% of one of the Canadian companies. Is it Canopy or Kronos? It's either Canopy or Kronos. CBD cigs, yeah, that might be it. Altria is a good one to hold for this. They already own a lot of a producer in Canada that will be able to now pull all of that supply to the US, switch tobacco for that cannabis, start rolling out weed cigarettes. I think that's a good position here. It's Canopy Growth that they own. Okay, so Altria owns Canopy, much of it anyway. The tobacco market is much bigger than cannabis, and they're not going to ditch cigarettes completely in order to switch to cannabis. But I mean, it's not going to be hard for them to pick up the, they've already got their supply chains running by owning Canopy. They've already got a distribution system because they're distributing cigarettes already. So it's not very difficult for them to just add weed on top of that. Get it into their ecosystem. I think they're going to really be pushing a lot of marijuana. It's good for them. Is MJ a good ETF? It's not the one that I would pick because it's so focused on Canada. I think they can, we could do better by picking a different ETF. What happened to my Yahoo Finance over here? Are we done? I'll give it a minute to see if they're coming back. Otherwise, that's it for news coverage. I don't know. What do we do now? Play some Age of Empires or something? You want me to play some Age of Empires? I mean, I want to play Age of Empires. That's why I'm saying it. I don't necessarily think you guys want to watch me play Age of Empires. But. Oh yeah, Prop 22. Okay, I did not think Prop 22 was going to pass in California. I did not think that at all. So I actually sold all of my holdings in Lyft. I said, does anyone play Age of Empires? All right, you guys want Empire Earth or Age of Empires? So Age of Empires is going to be... I got Age of Empires too. I like Empire Earth a little bit better. So, hey, Amara says, selling calls and puts on Apple at the same time. That's called Strangles, or Straddles, by the way. Yeah, that's a really good move there. All right, you'll say Age of Empires 2. All right, I guess it's going to be Age of Empires 2. All right, let's do it here. Let me flip my game a little bit. Give me a minute to adjust. Remember, I'm a boomer when it comes to all this. So, all right, we're gonna close this out here, and let's get Age of Empires set up. I haven't actually tried playing Age of Empires on, let's see, I got the Age of Empires 2. I thought I had the gold edition. Or the Conquerors, or whatever. There it is. Alright, let's get this one set up here. Alright, I'm going to play. This is going to be my first time streaming me playing video games. Oh no, that's not true. I've played Mega Man X before on this. But I gotta play it in. I gotta set it up so that I can play in like a window or whatever. How do I do that? I gotta Alt Tab out. Give me a minute, guys. I'm over here being a boomer. Alright, let's get window capture open. And I want... Hey, anybody who actually knows how to set this thing up, tell me like right now, because I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. Do I need game capture in order to achieve this? Game is already in use. Age of Empires 2 expansion. Alright, I think I got it. We live? We working? Hey, I can't see you guys right now, but let me... Shit. I don't know how the fuck to play this thing. I'm boomering it up. Big time over here. Is Apple really reducing their dividend? Yeah, I'm there. I would make the 3K challenge right now, except I haven't started the trade yet. I'm trying to make dank trades next. I've already got most of the script written up. Alright, I'm going to try this one more time over here. And I'm going to try to fix myself and get this thing fun. I'm losing viewers left, right, and center right now. Alright, let me see. There's got to be a way to play Age of Empires in like a window or something like that. Apple's dividend is already like complete garbage anyway, so I'm not like overly worried about it. What happened to my Age of Empires here? This thing is struggling big time. Alright, can you guys see Age of Empires on right now? There should be an option here for me to like play in window, but I don't see it. 2-button interface, automatic garrisoning. I wasn't ready for this. Yeah, I never heard about Apple actually reducing its dividend, which would really piss me off if they did though, because that's fucking ridiculous. Yeah, hey. Why is there flat earth context under your live stream? Is there? Shouldn't be. I don't know. If I want to play video games for you guys, it's going to end up having to be a flash game because I'm like totally jacked up. I don't know how to play video games on this software. I'm like losing. Everything's broken. Nothing's working. Alright, I've clearly like boomered the shit out of this whole thing. So, yeah, I don't think we're going to be playing video games, guys. I might as well just cut it here. Because I got this fucking mess going on my... Alright, whatever. One more shot? I'll give it one more shot. Only because you guys asked. Alright, let me figure it out. I've got game capture going on right now. And it's supposed to be pulling from this window. But I can't figure out how to actually make it play in window, and if that's what my problem is. It's not under video settings, I can't get it in there. I'm glad you guys are talking to each other right now, because I can't get shit done here. Alright, let me try open file location, and I'll see if it'll let me run it in a window. I'll try Empire Earth. Let's see if it cooperates a little bit better. Alright, clearly I don't know what the fuck I'm doing, so I'm just going to cut the screen here before I destroy myself. But yeah, thanks for tuning in. I've clearly made a mess out of this whole stream because I don't know how to fucking use this. I'm gonna have to figure out right now, after I turn this off, how to stream using OBS, because it doesn't want me to be able to see my game on one screen and OBS on another screen. It keeps like boxing it out, it's screwing it up. I mean, like, the only thing I've got on my screen right now is like a window of my stream, so this ain't working. Thanks for those that tuned in for the first part of the video. For those that stuck around to watch me completely screw up trying to open up a video game and OBS at the same time. Anybody who... Oh, wait. Try Alt-Enter to switch to windowed? Alright, I gotta try that. I gotta see if it works. I've been doing Alt-Shift. I'm gonna try that. I'm gonna try it just because somebody said it. Have I tried a Google search? No, I haven't gotten that far yet, man. Come on. I wasn't prepared for this. Maybe if I do a Control-Shift-Escape, I can flip to a windowed feature. Alright, totally not working. I completely give up. That's it. We're done here. So, I'm going to try to figure this out. I'm going to ask some adults. Alt F4, no, I think that closes it. Alt switch to Windows. Alright, I'm done with you guys because you're just fucking with me now. So I'm going to try to... I'm fully in boomer mode right now. I'm going to do some Google searching and figure this out. If anybody really knows what the fuck they're doing, hit me up on Discord, walk me through it, and maybe I can start acting like a proper millennial instead of a boomer that doesn't know how to use OBS. So, alright, thanks guys for tuning in. I'll catch you all next time. Over the weekend, good luck to everybody. Have fun. And coming into next week, Bears, I hope you guys come out on the right side of things. Good luck for everybody. Take care, guys.